Hey guys, Spencer here. Boas and pythons are two of the largest snakes in the world with very similar features that, to the naked eye, make them seem like the same snake. However, there are a lot of differences. First, let's talk about what they are. Boas and pythons are constrictor snakes that include the largest snakes in the world. The largest boa being the green anaconda, and the largest python being the reticulated python. And because they are equally as large, there have been some debates over which snake is larger. Though scientists boiled it down to the reticulated python being the longest snake, because the longest retics have been recorded to be longer than the longest anacondas, and the green anaconda being the largest snake in the world because it is considerably bulkier and heavier. Though they are not closely related, they evolved similar features due to convergent evolution. They both evolved from burrowing lizards that lost their limbs to better adapt to their underground lifestyles. Once the asteroid mass extinction happened that wiped out all the dinosaurs, the two families began evolving separately. Eventually, because boas got a warmer climate, they evolved to be the larger snake. In fact, the largest boa that ever lived, the titanoboa, was the largest snake to ever exist, growing up to 50 feet long and weighing over a ton. Pythons were able to make up for this by having more species that grew up to 20 feet or longer. Let's jump to present day and talk about these two snake families' current similarities and differences. Boas are primarily found on the western side of the globe in North, Central, and South America, with the couple sand boas being found in North Africa, the Middle East, and India. Pythons, on the other hand, only thrive in the Eastern Hemisphere, in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Australia. Unfortunately, if you've watched the news, you'll know that pythons have become an invasive species in North America. In the 1970s, the Burmese python became popular in the pet trade, but due to them getting too large for snake handlers, they were released into the Florida Everglades, causing an explosion in their population and leading to the destabilization of the ecosystem. Classic Florida. As stated previously, both pythons and boas are constrictor snakes. This means that they kill their prey using a method called constriction, which is the method of grabbing their prey and squeezing it tightly. Not necessarily by choking, although if the snake grabbed its prey by the neck, it could certainly do that, but by restricting the blood flow to the heart, by pressing down on the veins and arteries, clogging them to the point that they burst, leading to internal bleeding and eventually cardiac arrest. Okay, sorry for that very graphic explanation, but it's all true. Both boas and pythons have double-rowed hooked teeth that they use to latch onto their prey and prevent them from escaping. Once their prey is dead, they can open their mouths up wide nearly 180 degrees in order to swallow prey that is bigger than their head. Listen here, people. They do not unhinge their jaws. What they do is use their flexible ligaments to expand their mouths wide open to engulf their prey in one gigantic bite. Once the animal is in their belly, a python or boa won't have to eat for at least a whole month, or year, or week, depending on the size of the animal, because the bigger the animal that a snake swallows, the longer it has to metabolize. Another similarity pythons and boas both have is their mating habits. Both python and boa males have vesicular structures from their lizard ancestors that they use to mate with. This small hind spur that they tickle the females with. Scientists aren't sure if this is really effective, but it certainly helps. Now, I've covered the similarities between the two, but for now, let's talk about differences. Boas and pythons belong to two different families, Boidae for boa and Pythonidae for pythons. The main difference between the two that separates them is that boas give birth to live young. That's right, boas are among the 30% of snake species that do not lay eggs, although it's very different from how humans do it. Instead of being developed in a womb like mammals, the eggs hatch inside the mother boa in a feat similar to sharks. This ensures that the babies will be safer from predators than if they're inside an egg. Once the babies hatch, they're spewed out by their mother and left to fend for themselves. Pythons, on the other hand, like most reptiles, lay eggs. They lay eggs and guard them until the babies hatch. Once they do hatch, the mother will move on and leave the baby pythons to fend for themselves. Sadly, not every boa or python baby will make it. Only about 10% of the babies will survive to adulthood, and even if they make it, survival is not a guarantee. Luckily, if they do make it, they will pass their traits on to the next generation, ensuring a constant evolution race. One other difference between boas and pythons is that all pythons have thermal radiation detectors on the sides of their lips, like pit vipers. These heat pits allow pythons to see prey based on their thermal presence. Some boas, like the emerald tree boa, also have this ability, but not all boas can do this. They mostly rely on their tongue, flicking them in and out to collect scent particles.
Snakes have impeccable taste buds. I can taste air.
You're close, Mr. Snake, but it's not entirely true. Snakes actually have pretty poor taste buds. They actually smell with their tongues. Overall, both of these snakes are remarkable. They're some of the most advanced predators on Earth, and also some of the most well-known snake species. They also make some of the best pets due to their surprising docility towards humans. If you are a reptile lover, then I suggest that you get one. But please, if you decide to get one, do your research, get a proper enclosure, feed it the proper food, and by all means, do not release it into the wild. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you do happen to own a boa or python as a pet, let me know in the comments and tell me what kind it is. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!